everyone! So today I am going to tell you of my shameful book that I didn't read, books that I didn't read. Today I am going to be doing my February wrap-up and my March TBR. Now I'm discovering that maybe I'm not very good at TBRs, or maybe it's just because it was my first one and I'm not very good at scheduling myself of what I have to read, but yeah. Let me jump into what I read in March, and you can see why I'm shamefully didn't read lots of stuff. Oops. So the first book I read in February was Red Rising, which I don't have a copy with me because when I moved I was like, I've already finished this, I'm not going to take it with me, so I don't have a copy with me today. But the first book I finished in February was Red Rising. Oh my gosh, I loved it, and I feel like I really want to do like a full review for it, but I'm not quite sure how to do that, or whether I'd be able to articulate all of my feels for that book into, like, yeah. The second book I read was Jam by Yahtzee Croshaw, which I half read it before I moved, and then finished it when I actually moved here. The cool thing about it is it is actually set in the city that I'm living in, so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Hey, I know that bit. I wonder which building that is. So that was a cool little welcoming to the city for me, was reading it. Jam is about a apocalypse of jam. Like, they wake up in the morning and the entire city is covered in a few foot layer of man-eating jam. As whimsical as that sounds. It basically is that. It's pretty funny, pretty crude, but I really liked Jam, but it kind of didn't end the way I thought it should. And I know, like, maybe I haven't really read many post-apocalyptic novels or apocalyptic novels or whatever. I haven't really read many of those, so maybe I don't exactly know how these kind of novels generally end, but I've finished it. It felt kind of flat, and maybe that was just like it was a discovery writing piece. And I think it was definitely a discovery writing piece. It wasn't about having a perfectly outlined plot. It was about having a character's a cool idea and then spitting it out and seeing where it was going, maybe, I think. Like, the characters are pretty cool. I love them. But yeah, so Jam was the second book I read during March. And then the third book that I read during February, well, finished during February. I've been reading it for quite some time now. My mother and I have been reading it together because we quite like reading books together. And that was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, obviously. I am a huge Pride and Prejudice fan, and I know what you're saying. How can you be a huge Pride and Prejudice fan if you've only just finished reading Pride and Prejudice? Well, I have watched the BBC series, like the serial, episodic BBC ones, ever since, like, I don't know, probably forever, when I was little, and, like, watched it all the way growing up, and I've loved it. A huge Pride and Prejudice fan, but I'd never read the book, and I don't know why. I just never read the book. So finally my mum and I were like, hey, we should read the book. And so we started it probably at some point last year, and it got fairly busy during the December-January period, as it generally does. But then we kind of picked it up again and kept reading, and we finished it, and it was really good. And we've just started Emma. I don't actually have a copy of that with me, because how we've been doing it is my mum calls me in the evenings and she reads out a chapter to me and I just listen and chill while she reads. Now, I actually hardly know what Emma is about. Like, as far as I know, she sets up a bunch of people together. That's actually all I know. And the thing is that I'm okay with that. I much prefer to go into books a bit blind, because I always think it's fun seeing how the writer kind of exposes the reader if the reader is going in not knowing anything. Like, what kind of stuff do they assume that you already know? Some beauty is removed when you go into the story knowing what it's about. So I much prefer just to go in totally blind. So I don't even read blurbs half the time. I'm like, no! Now, as for Mistborn, The Final Empire, I did not even pick up Mistborn. Yeah. I'm thinking if I just keep on putting it on my TBRs, eventually it'll be finished. And of course there's the last one, which I know what you're thinking. You're like, what about A Darker Shade of Magic? No, I didn't finish this. I didn't finish it. I'm really close to the end, but I did not finish this. I had a whole month of reading it, and I did not finish A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This book, I'm really liking it. Like, I honestly am really liking it. It is about parallel worlds that are all connected through the Londons, and the main character, Kel, can jump between them. Honestly, didn't finish this because I was really busy. I was moving and then I had uni and I have no excuses. But let's stop being depressed about the books that I didn't read and be hopeful of the future of the books that I will read. So let's get into March. Now, I know there's lots of people in America that are doing BookTube that are like, yay, spring break! Whereas here in Australia, we're like, yay, it's autumn! And the term has just started. And everything is really, really busy. So, of course, this month I'll be finishing A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, because I've almost finished it. So, that's number 1 on my TBR. Second book I will be reading is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. And this book I've had recommended to me by a lot of people. Spoiler alert about the author. So, Robert Galbraith is actually J.K. Rowling writing under another name, because she got sick of, I suppose, people going, why aren't you writing more Harry Potter or whatever. As far as I know, The Cuckoo's Calling is about a detective whose life is going to absolute pot. I think it's his fiancée is busy breaking up with him, and also about a woman who I think comes to be his secretary, who she's just got engaged, so I assume life is kind of... I've listened to the first few chapters, so that's kind of what I'm picking up. And a case about a supermodel who supposedly committed suicide throwing herself off her balcony, but her brother is convinced that she didn't, and so he brings the case of her death to this detective, and he's like, I don't think she committed suicide, solve it for me, please, yeah. That's about as far as I've got, so. Third book that I'm hoping to read this month, but I have no idea whether I'll get to it, is Mistborn: The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, which, again, I don't know much about that. But I'm hoping if I keep on putting it on my TBR, eventually I'll get it read. The final book that I want to read this month is this! That's right. Read all 1,298 pages of Campbell Biology. Goals for this month: not fail my units! Yay! Like and subscribe for more funny things of me doing whatever the hell and not reading books and that making you feel better about how you probably read more books than I did. So, see, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for making you feel better about yourself because you're like, at least I'm not like that chick. I read all of the books on my TBR this month. See? Look how kind I am. I am making you feel better. I will see you in the next video. Please comment down below and tell me what you're reading at the minute. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!